Before I did Footballers' Wives, I've been working as an actress for about 6 years, and I've done quite a lot of theatre and lots of different bits and pieces of television. I did Coronation Street and Where the Heart Is. I did 2 different Linda LaPlants, one called Killer Net, one called Trial and Retribution 4. Basically, I'd come up for a part for Bad Girls with Margaret Crawford, and I'd really wanted this part because I'd loved Bad Girls, the show and everything, and so I'd come along, I met her, and Margaret and I hit it off immediately. She's great. And so she just sort of said, look, I'm sorry, you're not right for this. Not to me, to my agent. Zoe's not right for Bad Girls, but I'm casting someone in the summer called Footballers' Wives, and I think she'll be perfect for it. And for some reason, I couldn't get this out of my head and didn't know anything about it. Obviously, I hadn't heard of any scripts, hadn't heard anything about it other than that it was something called Footballers' Wives, and that in itself just shouted what a fantastic concept. I kept it in my head, and anyway, it got to kind of June of 2001, and I remember thinking, Footballers' Wives, Footballers' Wives. She said she was casting it in the summer, so it must be around now. So I rang my agent and said, look, Footballers' Wives, when's it all going ahead? And she said, well, I don't know. We've had a kind of breakdown, but I'm not sure whether there's any sort of, there's anything dead right for you in there. So I said, well, what are the different characters? And the thing is, because I'm actually only, I was 27, just gone 27 at the time. I think Tanya's character was written down as about 33, 34, and so they kind of not immediately jumped on that for me. But when she told me, she said it was like the captain's wife, and she's this kind of feisty survivor who's sort of queen bee of the other footballers' wives. I just said, well, that's me, I can do that. Got the first audition, that was great, really enjoyed it. And then the second one, there was 5 Jasons, 5 Tanyas, that was what it had been whittled down to. And so I went in with all of them, and of course out of all of them, Christian and I just went, the characters just were perfect, the way that they worked from each other, and this is after the first reading of it. So I just remember thinking, oh, hope I get Tanya, and if I do get Tanya, I hope that that's my Jason, Christian, and sure enough it was, so I was very pleased about that. I think the first day's always very nerve-wracking. You know, we do a read-through, which is prior to the first film day. So you kind of get to meet all the other cast members that, you know, say, because you've obviously visualised in your head who the different characters are, what they're going to look like after you've read the script, because the only person you know is yourself. So you go in, and that's all very exciting. Do the read-through. I hate read-throughs. I always get really nervous at them. And so you do that, and then they do maybe a bit of costume fitting, try to do some makeup trials on that day, and then the first day of shooting. I mean, yeah, it is really intimidating, and it's very. Basically, I always feel a certain amount of pressure because you know you can do it, and you know your interpretation of this character. But for all you know, you can walk in there, and the director or the producer might say, "Why are you playing it like this?" Even though you've done you've had a casting for it. You know, through learning the dialogue and things coming sort of naturally through the work, you just never know. So you just got to trust that what you're doing is the right way about it. And sure enough, that I was the Tanya they were looking for, thank God. So, but no, it's nerve-wracking. Yeah, get very nervous. I mean, I've always been fascinated by Victoria Beckham. I think she's fantastic, and I always loved watching what she was wearing, and I loved it. I've always thought it was her in particular it was very glamorous, and Louise Redknapp's always seemed really lovely and down to earth, and and obviously you hear other reports about other footballers and other wives that aren't quite as successful in their marriages, and maybe have much more volatile relationships than the ones that we know the most about. But I guess it's not something, I guess it's just, I didn't think about footballers' wives as a group of people. You know, you have the typical ones and the main ones, you know, but then apart from that, I guess you just sort of, it's not something I ever really thought about, which is why when Footballers' Wives was, you know, created and you hear about it and you go, of course, what a great concept. I got the script and she just jumped out, I just knew who she was. And I think after reading definitely the first couple of scripts, I'd subconsciously conjured up this entire life for her because I think, you know, she just, as I say, she just jumped out at me. So I didn't base her on any other footballer's wife. I didn't base her on a person that I knew. The only person that I remember watching a film and there was just little elements of the character of Ginger in Casino where she's quite frantic and she's off, you know, she's barking. But it's a kind of real hectic character. There's just so much going on and this very, you know, so I think the energy I kind of picked up a little from that, maybe that character.
Jason, wake up, darling, I need to...
Shit. Oh.
Cow! Bitch! Get go! Stay home! Stupid one! Jason, would you go?
Tanya! For Christ's sake, get a grip! Tanya!
What is going on?
Tanya!
What have you gone and done now, Marie?
What motivates Tanya is power, status and money. But she's also got a very big heart, you know. She loves Jason very much, too much. You know, she'd do anything for him and above and beyond what was right for her, you know. But many of the reasons why she gets herself into these very awkward or very compromising situations, as you know, in order to save Jason, is because in turn that will keep her as a captain's wife, that will keep her up there as Queen Bee amongst the other wives. So although, yeah, there's a, you know, she's very stand by your man and she does, you know, care very deeply about Jason, she's, you know, she's not stupid. She knows that without Jason, she wouldn't be where she is.
I decided it was time I told her the truth.
What?
No names. Just that it wasn't going to happen for me and her.
Oh, see?
Which means with Jason back on track, Marguerite out the picture, we're free to do whatever it is we like.
I think Tanya's is at a stage in her life right now. I mean, she's clearly got self-esteem problems, which is why, you know, she, you know, there's a side of her where she knows that she probably could go out there and, you know, physically conquer just about anything through. She's a very bright woman. But, you know, the thing that I never forget about her is that she is incredibly vulnerable and deep down, which is the problem, she does think she's fairly worthless, but she's been treated like shit all her life. So, you know, yes, she's given it out as well. And yes, there's times where she should just walk away and do herself a favour, but she's got issues, you know, as we all have.
Jason, I got your call. Where and when? Jason?
Jesus, Tanya!
Lying bastard! You call each other when I'm not looking, do you? You cheating, two-faced shit!
You don't give up, do you?
I trusted you! You just keep on lying!
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Marie, little cobbler's muck tart! Can't you get it up for some your own age?